back to my channel. So today I'm gonna be showing y'all how to start doing your foundation routine so that it's more flawless. So if you want to see how to update your routine and how I updated mine, then keep on watching. So usually I don't do my brows on camera, but I've been doing them a little differently, so I'm gonna do them on camera this time. Just take some hair gel. Yes, I said hair gel. You don't need to buy a $20 eyebrow gel when hair gel does the same thing. I just take some on a spoolie and I start brushing my eyebrow hairs up. This just makes your brows look fuller if you don't have as much brow hairs, because it definitely makes a difference once you fill them in. Just gonna let that dry. So now they're dry, so I'm just gonna take my spoolie and I'm just gonna shape them like that and kind of push the brow hairs over. So they look like this. Now usually people fill in their brows and then they conceal, but I like to do it the opposite way. So I'm just take a flat concealer brush, make sure it's as flat as possible, like this, and I'm just gonna line underneath my eyebrow like that. So now we have a shape. So then I'm gonna take this Avon, it's actually eyeliner, but I like to use it to fill in my brow. So I already have that outline, so I'm just gonna follow it and line the bottom of my eyebrow first and extend my eyebrow a little bit. So like the end of my brow looks weird, so I'm gonna take a little bit more concealer and I'm gonna carve out the tail. Now I got an eyebrow. So this is the before, this is the after. So I'm gonna do the other brow off camera, then I'm gonna come back and we're gonna start on the base. Okay, now we're gonna move on to the base because my brows are done. So of course the first thing you need to do is prime. So I just use this primer. And it's like a soft matte primer, I guess I could describe it as. Like it's not like super matte because I have dry combination skin. And I'm gonna take the brush that I always use for primer. And when you blend out your primer, you don't want to like rub it in. You kind of want to just press it into your skin. And I don't put a lot on my forehead because I feel like when you put foundation on your forehead, it makes you look older. So then I'm gonna take my all-nighter spray and I'm gonna spray it. So then I take the Fenty Beauty setting powder. I posted this on my Instagram story. So what I just do is I take a wet beauty blender. Actually, I'm gonna take this one. This is an e.l.f. beauty blender. I just take some of the powder, and this works best if you use a wet beauty blender as opposed to a dry brush. I got this tip from Aina, the queen, but I just take the powder and I put it in my oily areas. Just put it in my T-zone because I have dry combination skin. Then, because we do a lot to make sure that certain areas stay matte, I also want to glow underneath my foundation, like regardless of what season it is. So to do that, I take this Maybelline strobing stick, and this is kind of like a dupe for the MAC strobe cream, but it's just in a stick form and it's cheaper. But I basically just put it on the high points of my face, a little bit on my chin, and then on my nose, and then the inner corners of my eye like that. Like I always say, this one is too light, but this one's a little too red, so I just mix them together. It's the Maybelline Super Stay in Warm Sun and the LA Girl Pro Coverage Illuminated Foundation in Warm Caramel. And then I just take a beauty blender and I start blending my foundation out. So as far as like blending my foundation, I go in with the beauty blender first, and then I go in with a foundation brush because I feel like I just get a more flawless base. And you'll notice it if you do the same thing. Like I feel like when I just blend with a beauty blender, because beauty blenders, I feel like they mostly like just put the product on your face as opposed to blending it out, even though it's called a beauty blender. I feel like that's a little bit of a reach, and they pick up a lot of product. Like I said, I barely put any on my forehead. Then I take a foundation brush. I take a tiny bit more foundation if I want more coverage, and I just go in and I press the product into my skin. So then for concealer, so basically with the concealer, I learned this trick from TikTok, and the person I did on TikTok, his ad name is OGABG on TikTok. What he did was he took concealer and he put it on the outside of his eye, and then he put it kind of like that, I believe. I'm gonna spray first. You want to spray your concealer. That tastes so disgusting. Before you blend it out, and you want to let your concealer set a little bit, because if you try to blend it out as soon as you put it on, it's gonna move around, and then you're gonna have really bad creases, and you're gonna look old. While I'm waiting for that to dry, I'm just gonna take this LA Girl concealer in the shade Chestnut. And I'm gonna start drawing my contour. But you wanna blend your concealer and your contour out before you put your under eye powder on, because it just makes it look more seamless. So I don't use a beauty blender to blend out my concealer anymore. I use this brush. So like I said, I just blend out and down first. And then I blend up. Once I have like a little bit of product left, and I'm blending out towards the outer corner of my eye. Like, you see how my eye looks more lifted on this side than on this side? It just brightens up the whole area. And I'm gonna blend out the rest of the concealer. And you want to blend out a little bit on the side of your nose. Otherwise, it'll just look like it's concealer, and then it's like this big space, and it doesn't look seamless. So then I take this contour brush and I blend out my contour. But you want to put your contour, I feel, a little bit lower than where you think you would put it, because you eventually blend up. So basically, if you're using like a cream product, you want to take it and go in like upward circular motions like that, because if you're just going back and forth, it's not blending it out. And I don't contour my nose, because I like my nose. I feel like I look scary when my nose is contoured. I feel like I look older. I usually take this brush, and you see how it looks a little like harsh right here? I just take it and then I further blend it out. Like, you see the difference? So now I'm gonna take my setting powder. I'm gonna use a little bit of both. So I'm gonna use this on the very inner corner, and then I'm gonna put the rest of this on the rest of my under eye. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a little bit of the Maybelline powder, like that much, and I just sweep it on the inner corner. So then I'm gonna take the Fenty powder on the rest of my eye. And I'm gonna just sweep that across my face. Okay, so now that all of that's done, then what I do is I take a bronzer, which is like a shade darker, not even a shade, a half a shade darker than my skin tone. And I take this, it's the e.l.f. Flawless Face Brush. This is the Black Radiance bronzer in creamy beige. And I take some of that, then I'll take some of the Fenty powder, and I basically mix them together. Then, I should have done this when I was putting my foundation on, but I'm gonna just take some of this foundation and I'm gonna put it all all on my lid. So that looks scary, but we're gonna fix it. Then I take this Morphe palette and I take a specific shade that's like the shade for me. Like, I've been looking for a shade like this for forever and I finally found it. So it's this one right here, obviously, because it's the only one I hit pan on. It gives me some color, but not to the point where it looks like I have a lot of eyeshadow on. And I'll blend it on my lower lash line. Now I'm gonna put my lashes on off camera, and then I'm gonna come back and put on blush and highlight. And then I'm gonna do my lip combo, because my lip combo is serious. But I put my lashes on. These are the Broadway Eyes 3D lashes in the style 09. And then I'm gonna take this eyeliner. It's the Betty Boop Ipsy Drawn to You liner. I just take the eyeliner and I just do that. I can't explain it in words, but you see what I'm doing. Yes, ma'am. That's disgusting. So then for blush, I'm gonna take this Milani blush. Get Milani blushes, especially if you have dark skin. Because the darker your skin is, the harder it is to find like any skin product. And so I just put the blush on my nose and my cheeks, and I kind of bring it up a little bit. Then I'm gonna take this highlight. So it's the Bonnie Duminizer liquid highlighter all over illuminator. It's so small, but it's by the Balm. It's a little hard to blend out, so you don't want to put too much. So as soon as you put it on, blend it out. Like you see, I put that little dot and I got all of that. And just put it on my face. Yeah, and then I'm gonna spray one more time before I do my lips. So basically what I do is, first, I line my lips. You can overline if you want, I don't. Then I take this NYX Butter Gloss in the shade Ginger Snap. This is brown, but it's a shade lighter than the liner. And I put that on. After that, I take another NYX Butter Gloss in the shade Madeline. And I put that on in the center. Then I take the Fenty Gloss Bomb, and I take this because it has a shimmer in it and it gives me a little pink tint. I haven't had a gloss bomb since high school because I always used to lose them. So after a while I was like, I'm not spending $19 on this lip gloss if I'm gonna lose it. So you see that gave me a little bit more of a tint. Then, sorry, to blend it all together, I take a clear lip gloss, and I just take this rose hip oil. I feel like this one is the best one, and it's the most moisturizing. Okay, so this is the final look. It looks so good. Like, not even just because I'm me, because it looked good, period. So if you like this video and it was helpful, like, comment, subscribe. So follow me on all my social media, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.